Today, we become legends.
The SPL does not apply to you. Hey, my name's Zinza, welcome back to another video. If you're new here, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss my next video, and drop a like on this one if you think I do a good job. So that statement is more of a provocative, clickable YouTube title than a true argument, but I think it represents a mindset in the community that I see not only in Smite, but in video games in general. And that is that the very top 0.1% of players are always right and you should do exactly what they do. The amount of parroting of top players I see in the community is honestly ridiculous, and some people just don't seem to think for themselves anymore. Even I am guilty of this in a way, because I do my tier list mostly based on top level play, which doesn't even apply to the majority of the people watching it. Look at any tier list made in the last year and you'll probably see Persephone in the top tiers and Arachne in the low tiers, yet in the majority of Conquest games, Arachne performs way better than Persephone. That's because Persephone is incredibly strong, arguably broken on paper and in the right hands, whereas Arachne is incredibly weak, arguably unplayable against top level players. But shift gears to bronze games or even silver or gold games and the case completely flips on its head. This is win-loss and pick ban data from patch 7.12, so with season 8 dropping very soon this will be outdated, but the point it makes is timeless. Arachne has a win rate over 12% higher than Persephone. She in fact has the second worst win rate in the entire game across all ranks, while Arachne has the third highest. Yeah, this is all ranks, not even just low ranks where you expect Arachne to excel because she's a very basic character that you need to know how to counter. Yeah, a god in top tier on most tier lists you will see is 108 places lower on the win rate rankings than a god widely placed in A tier or below on most tier lists. Persephone is picked or banned in 86% of games at all ranks, despite having the second lowest win rate in the entire game. This is mainly because of two reasons. The first is because people are sheep and don't think for themselves, but the second one is what I just talked about. Almost every single tier list from a large content creator or pro player puts Persephone in S+, or at least S tier. Now this is obviously because most people who make tier lists do them on the maximum potential and paper strength of the god, aka they are based around high level play and SPL. Yet if someone makes a tier list of what they truly think is strong at their level of play and put Arachne in a higher tier than Persephone, the amount of abuse and keck W's they'll get spammed with is just insurmountable, so they'll give in and make a tier list that's identical to everyone else's to fit in and not get hate for it. This is a tier list from Wraithen. He's a pretty small creator. I think he streams on Twitch, also has a YouTube channel where I found this tier list from. And do you notice anything different here? Yeah, he's got Arachne in the very top tier, along with stuff like Izanami that people say is pretty trash. And then down in the bottom tiers, he's got Persephone, the subject of the video. And as you can see, he got quite a few dislikes from this. 166 to 27 is something like 85% like ratio or something, which is pretty bad by YouTube standards. I know 85% of people liking your video sounds good, but for the most part, a good video on YouTube is going to get between 97 and 100% likes. So he actually got a pretty bad like ratio on this. My tier lists get way better like ratios than this. And that's not me trying to flex. I think the people that dislike this video are complete idiots because for the most part, all of those 27 people that dislike this video, this applies to them the most, because most likely they're not going to be SPL players, they're not going to be top level Masters players where Persephone is actually good for them and Arachne is trash. So yeah, mad respect to Wraithen for doing a tier list this way. I think this is way more useful to the average player than the way most people do tier lists, myself included actually, so definitely hit him up with a follow. In fact, I'm guilty of this myself. I do the vast majority of my tier list based around high level play. That's partly because I do play at a pretty high level, like top 1 or 2% of players, but it's also because making a tier list that doesn't look like insert pro player here's tier list is frowned upon. And the reason I'm saying this is because these tier lists being made by content creators and pro players, myself included, once again I feel like I have to say that I'm not trashing these creators or players. You're free to create a tier list however you like, and for the actual SPL players it makes a ton of sense for them to make a tier list for their level of play. But these tier lists that the average gold or platinum player goes to in order to find strong picks to ban or play just don't apply to them whatsoever. They're redundant at best and harmful at worst to the experience of the viewers because it puts the wrong idea in their mind. But if I want to be master, shouldn't I be copying what top masters and SPL players are picking and banning, I hear you say? So what if Persephone is banning gold? I am a diamond player, so tier lists apply to me. Well, no. Bear with me here, but the Arachne Persephone example is actually worse in Diamond Plus ranked than it is across all ranks. This is Diamond Plus only data, no ranks below Platinum are included. Arachne is the highest win rate character in the entire game in these ranks, and Persephone remains the second lowest, meaning they should quite literally be at opposite ends of the tier list, but not in the way they are right now, reversed. Basically, my point here is not to say that tier lists are useless, but to say take them with a jug full of salt. Because literally every tier list I see, including my own, are modelled after top level SPL play. Anyone who says they're doing a ranked tier list for the average player but puts Persephone in S+ is simply lying to you. She has a bottom 5 win rate in every single rank, yet she is picked or banned in 4 out of every 5 games. Now, yes, you can make the argument that because Persephone is so strong on paper, you want to ban her just in case the enemy team has someone that can play her to her full potential, and that's totally understandable if you just want to take that risk completely off the table. But I can 100% guarantee you that if tier lists, YouTube, SPL, etc. did not exist, Persephone would not have this high of a pick ban rate. If the only information players had to go off of was how they see her perform in their games, the vast majority of people would never ban her. And I think when I do make tier lists in the future for Season 8 and things like this, I'm going to try and put a disclaimer at the start of the tier list saying this, because it really should be noted that these tier lists are for SPL play, they're for very top level play, they don't apply to most people, and to be honest, I don't know if you guys will want to see this or not, but I may end up doing some kind of tier lists that are sort of more designed around ranks, using a little bit of win rate statistics, not just a win rate tier list, because that's very easy to do and you don't need me to explain to you what character win rates have, because you can look that up yourself, but a tier list that's sort of like more influenced by that and applies more to like my level of play, which is like top ranked, and also just like the middle ranks as well, because the people that go looking for tier lists, they aren't looking for what's amazing in the SPL, because what's amazing in the SPL, a lot of the time is not amazing in your rank. So I think something like that would be more useful for like the average viewer watching. But this whole Arachne Persephone thing isn't just an isolated example. There are tons of cases of gods that are placed extremely high on tier lists having a terrible win rate, even in Diamond Plus, yet still being picked and banned as if they're a top 5 win rate character that is completely unbeatable. Anubis, Hades, Izanami, Artemis, all gods that are placed low on tier lists and you're told they don't work, fuck those tier lists. All 4 of these characters have a top 10 win rate in the game. Don't let anyone ever tell you not to play a god just because they're low on a tier list that is designed for SPL play. And that's the key phrase there. I'm not trying to completely rag on tier lists and say that everyone who makes them is a problem, because I make tier lists too and I do them in this way. I think it's interesting to explore the maximum potential of each character and how they perform when played the best in the world, but I feel like most people who are looking for tier lists are not looking for that. They're looking for something good to play in their average games and maybe some useful bans in ranked. And I hate to be a party pooper, but tier lists built on SPL play are not going to help you with that. Take them as they are, a reflection of the very top levels of play and what each character's theoretical potential is when played by the best of the best, not a guide on how to rank up. Hi-Rez themselves have even recognised this problem, and it's why they're reworking Persephone in Season 8. They've tried to balance her, but when you have a god that is only successful in the very top echelons of competitive play but completely sucks balls everywhere else, you can't outright nerf the character, despite that being what most of the clueless sheep are asking for, despite probably having a positive win rate against Persephone in their own games. But to preserve the competitive scene, you do need to change the character because they're so dominant over there. So hopefully this rework they have planned keeps the character complex and interesting, but allows her win rate to equalise a little bit across most ranks, because it's extremely important to have complex characters in the game, just as it is important to have basic characters that are easy to pick up and use. In fact, I think Smite doesn't have enough complex designs, although to be fair to Titanforge, they have added some very unique and complex god kits in the last couple of seasons, and I think they are getting better at it, but overall they still have some work to do on making a complex character that doesn't ruin the game like Persephone kind of does. But I'll leave you with a question. When was the last time you actually got destroyed by a Persephone? Was it 80% of the time like the pick ban rate suggests? Anyway, that's it for this one. Just a discussion on some sentiment I've seen in the community for a long time, and with my channel growing a lot lately, I have an actual platform to reach a decent audience with this, and I thought this is something that needs to be said. But yeah, drop a like if you enjoyed, and I'll catch you guys in another one later on. Have a great day, and peace out, you nerds.